What's up, guys?
It's Monday, Miracle Monday.
Yay.
Yay. You know what's really annoying?
What?
When your phone doesn't unlock with your face.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, mine just did that to me a little while ago. And I was like, I am me. Like, what
looks so different?
Different. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I know. And especially when you wake up in the morning and you
Yes.
don't fully want to look at your phone, but you have to literally lift your whole head up so to like get your face.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's
And
so
then
annoying.
sometimes your eyes are just too puffy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no,
Yeah.
that can't possibly be you.
And then you have to type your passcode.
Oh my gosh, like the olden days.
I remember when people didn't even have passcodes on their phones.
Oh my
like you would
gosh,
just
I know.
Yeah.
That was dangerous.
Yeah, honestly. Speaking of dangerous,
Let's get into it.
we don't normally talk about
Pop culture.
the pop culture TikTok gossip, but this story just leads us to some good points, so we had to talk about it.
And we've both been in similar situations.
Yeah, honestly.
So, if you don't know, Brooke Schofield posted a tell-all like TikTok series about her relationship with Clinton Kane. Singer, songwriter, Australian. Clinton
Supposedly.
Kane. And the internet has gone wild about it, for it.
Yeah, because this man faked a whole entire Australian accent because he said he was from Australia, so he had to keep that up. He said his mom died, but she was a pastor of Hillsong, the big freaking church.
Like, of all things to lie about, like, Hillsong?
Yeah,
Like, that's so easily discoverable.
exactly. You could literally look up. I even looked it up. When I heard about it, I was like, who...
Yeah,
like, is
exactly.
that at least true? Even if she's not dead, is it true? Like,
Right.
what part of this story is true, but none of it?
None of it.
He literally is living a complete lie, like a freak. And
Yeah.
he's not Australian. His mom is alive, and he even wrote a whole song about her being dead.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah, it's actually insane.
It's like he believes, like, he made up this story in his mind. Okay, you know how, like, when you're going to sleep, you can make up stories in your
Yeah.
mind and you just, like, have little scenarios? It's like he did that and then never got out of it.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my gosh, my mom died and I'm from Australia. And, like, I don't know.
Why
It's
did
so
he
crazy.
why did he have to be from Australia?
I don't know. Exotic
And-
guys are just that much better.
And then he didn't keep up the accent all the time.
Which is crazy. Dan, I think is his name. I can't remember. The co-host on the Zach Sang show. He posted a TikTok yesterday, I think, of a clip of his interview when he was on the Zach Sang
Yeah.
show. And the guy says, like, you sounded really American when you said that. Like, you don't sound Australian at
He
all.
said, what? That's crazy. Whatever he said.
Oh
like,
my gosh. Like, yeah.
no wonder.
No wonder. And of all accents to fake,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he also, they were in a committed relationship the whole time. He was also in a committed relationship with multiple other women.
Yes.
And mind you, guys, this man is so short. Like,
yeah, that was something that Brooke said. Like, when they first met in person, she was like, okay, he's not as short as I thought he was going to be.
and it's like, not like he's some like Australian, like freaking model, like whatever. Like,
He's no Luke Hemmings, that's for sure.
I don't know. It's just crazy that someone like that can have the potential still. Like, she thought she didn't have to worry because he wasn't like conventionally attractive.
Yeah, right.
And meanwhile, he had tons of other girlfriends and like so many things. Like, and he was living this whole lie. And even like while he's like in bed with her, he was cheating on her like with this stuff on his phone. And
Yeah.
like, this just like goes to show that like you cannot trust people.
Yeah, that was like so crazy to hear and know that people can be so shady.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. As like I am a person with integrity. And so that would never even cross my mind.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, to think that you could get away with that
Mm.
is like really bold.
Yeah.
And obviously he didn't get away with it. He got caught.
But he got away with it for a while.
Yeah, they were together for 3 months, but like what a whirlwind of 3 months.
That's crazy.
And he's still like, I mean, obviously she talks about it because what a traumatic experience to find out that like your whole relationship was a lie, and like the person that you were closest to lied to you about their entire lives.
Yeah. That would be like the thing that would get me the most, is that you just feel like what in the world was even like true, if
Yes.
anything, and like what am I stupid? Am I crazy? Like,
Yes.
I don't know. It's like, but this kind of stuff happens to any and everybody.
Yes.
You know, like it's just, some people are just pathological liars.
Yes. We
And
know some of those people.
Yeah. And we've been in similar situations, not as crazy,
but still pretty crazy.
but people who just like guys who kind of tell you a whole story about their life, and you come to find out it's not true.
yeah.
And
Or like you compare stories, like, oh, this person told me this, this, and this, and like I know that we have that situation with somebody that we talked to that we were friends with, and it's like, oh, that's not what he told me.
yeah.
Like, this is my side of the story.
Yeah.
And that's always just like so jarring, because then neither of you know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
Especially like, I don't know. It's just crazy, especially in our situation, because that person knew that we were friends
Yeah.
and that we talked.
But that shows that they're not, even though they seem like smart to keep like up with these lies, they're not smart at the same time, because they don't even realize like what they're doing. Like,
Yes.
I don't know the brain of a liar. I couldn't tell you, but that comes from some deep insecurity and like
Trauma.
absolutely hating yourself.
Yes.
Like you literally want to be
definitely
somebody else.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's like insecurity, like low self-confidence, and also, I mean, I just can't even, you're so right when you say I don't know the mind of a liar, because
Can't comprehend it.
no, I wish I could lie better than I do.
Yeah. Like in situations where you kind of need to.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I was raised to not lie, and that
Right.
liars go to hell. So
Exactly.
like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, it's not good to lie, but there are situations that it can save you from things, like,
Yeah.
or there's just, I don't know, like, I always thought that like white lies were like stupid, because I'm like, it's still a lie,
Yeah.
and I still believe that to a certain extent, but also like what about a situation where you have to like protect somebody,
Yes.
and like you can't, I don't know, it's,
or like if, you know, there's like a creep that's,
yeah, and you have to say, oh, I have a boyfriend, or I have a, like, whatever, like when
Just
I
to
was
get 'em
younger.
off your back,
Yeah.
or like if you're in an Uber and it's like, oh, do you live here? Nope, just visiting.
Yes, and we're just like so honest, so we just like, we don't know how to like come up with something on the spot like that.
I wish I did.
Yeah, I don't either. It's just like the only times I've done that is and it wasn't believable at all. There was one time I was with my sisters, and we just walked down the street, and there was like some like homeless guy that kind of like rode up on his bike, and he just like stopped and was kind of talking to us, and it was like weird. He was just kind of weird, and he was like, oh, you guys shouldn't be out here at night, something, as he stops to talk to us, completely stops his bike, doesn't just go past us. And I don't know, he said something, and then he was like, yeah, the cops always come pull over here when they see us sitting out here, so I just wanted to warn you, blah blah blah, whatever he was saying. And I was
I'm
like,
not one of you.
exactly. And I was like, well, my dad's a cop, so. And my sisters had to hold in their laughter, because it was just so obvious that it was a lie, that like, it was just funny. I don't know, in the moment it was so funny, but like there's just, yeah, it would come in handy for certain situations.
Yes.
Like that, but we just were not raised that way.
No.
But some people, like, I feel like it comes naturally to them, which is also
kind of alarming.
Yeah, that's alarming. But also, again, from how they were raised. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people growing up had to lie to their parents and, like,
That's
everything.
true. Yeah.
We just, like, didn't live like that. We
Right.
didn't have to. I mean, obviously, there's... withholding the truth is still technically, like, can be considered a lie. It's not like we haven't withheld the truth from
Right.
people. But, yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory what we
Yeah.
mean. Like,
Yeah. So, I think that we can all learn something from this story. First, you can just, like, take away that to always, like, look into people's stories and ask a lot of questions.
Yes, especially, like, the people around them.
Yes.
And, like, pay attention to the people that know them, meet their family, meet their friends. I don't think you should date somebody if you have not at least met, like, their closest friend or their parents or something.
Yeah.
Like, I think if they are the only person you know and you don't know anyone else around them, you have no reason to believe a word they say.
Exactly. And you have nobody to, like, back up their story.
Yeah.
Brooke and Clinton had mutual friends, but those people had not known Clinton very long. And so, but there was, like, nobody from his childhood. There was nobody from Australia. Obviously he didn't. And so it was all people who had met him after these things had happened.
Yeah.
And so I think if somebody doesn't have friends that have known them for a long time, you
Red
have
flag.
to ask yourself why. Like, you're not supposed to have the same friends forever. But there will be, like, a few core people who will stick with you through years.
Yeah. Even if it's just one.
Yes. And even if you don't talk every single day, like, there will be people in your life who have known you through many, many seasons. And that's really important. It's important to know if somebody that you're interested in has long-term friends.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have long-term friends, why do you think that they're going to have a long-term relationship?
Exactly. And if you don't know, if you haven't been able to, like, talk to the people around them at all, you haven't met them at all, then it's like you literally don't know that if they're putting on a show or not. Because when you see someone, it doesn't matter who it is. If you see someone around their family, you see their true side.
Yeah.
Maybe not the first time, maybe not the second, but give it some time. And you could tell the way they act around their family and the way they act around you. You can look between the differences and you can see the way, pay attention to the things their family says to them.
Yeah.
Like, pay attention to the way other people perceive them that know them very well.
Yeah.
And the way they talk about them, the way they argue. Like, pay attention to all of those things because it tells you a lot about the person.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not good to be in a relationship with someone you haven't known for at least, like, multiple months.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it can work out. There's a lot of people who meet someone and then, like, a few months later they start dating, whatever. I mean, I was kind of like that with Gary. But we knew each other on social media a little bit first, and we had a lot of mutual friends, and, like, that worked out. But I don't know if you know someone for, like, a month, couple months, and you just go straight into dating them and trusting them, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, and obviously if you're in, like, the freaking Utah culture, you would marry them within the 3 months.
Yeah.
And that
within 3 weeks.
I cannot fathom that. But, sometimes it works out for people. But no, I think you should really get to know the people. And that's what this kind of, the whole thing led us to talk about is, like, just kind of, like, things to pay attention to in your, like, dating life. And that's a really big one, is the people around them.
Yeah. I think having good people around you is also, like, really important.
Oh yeah.
Poor Brooke, all of her friends were like, "Oh yeah, go for it. You should totally date this guy." Which, I mean, they didn't know. They were just as hoodwinked as everybody else.
Yeah.
But I think what they saw, like, his fame, like, he was a rising star, and they were like, he's the next big thing. and so this is going to be good for you. Like, they weren't necessarily thinking of, like, make sure that this is a good guy.
Yeah.
They were thinking of, like, ways that it would benefit her, ways that it would benefit them.
Yeah, and that's not a good friend.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have godly people surrounding you, because one of the biggest things that I see that's lacking in this story is discernment.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, these people aren't believers, and so they're not going to have discernment when it comes to this kind of thing. But if you're around people who want what's best for you and want, like, to see you thrive in the Lord,
Yeah.
I think that's really important, because sometimes,
You could be blinded.
yes, and other people can see the truth, or they can see through certain things, and it's important to be able to be humble enough to listen to those people and really, like, take things seriously.
Mm-hmm. And know that they're not against you, they're actually for you, because that's like a big, especially in like I feel like early 20s relationships, you feel like you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, and when someone tells you, like, no, this is wrong, you're like, no, you don't know him, you don't know, like, whatever. And it's like, if your friends know you, they're looking out for you, and they love you, and they care about you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like, that's one of those moments, what do they say?
A canon event.
Yeah, a canon event. It is a canon event, but
yeah.
if you could stop it before it happens, then you should.
Yeah. Something that makes me sad about the story is that I think Brooks saw a lot of the signs and just chose to ignore them, because there's no way that she was listening to this man use an American accent around her and then turn on the Australian accent around all, like, when they were with people, and never thought to herself, that's suspicious.
I think she did, though, but she just thought, like, she didn't think he was straight up faking it, but I think she thought that, like, okay, it's not that strong around me, and he just, like, wants, like, he just talks different. I don't know, like, I can see, I know it sounds stupid, but I can see where she kind of was like, you just get, like, you get stupid sometimes. Like,
exactly.
You just get stupid.
But that's what I'm, like, getting at is you have to, like, get beyond that.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, like, be honest with yourself, because I think if she was really honest with herself, she would have been like, maybe I should ask him about that. Or, like, maybe I should ask other people, like, hey, does this ever happen when it's just the two of you? Like,
but that also comes back to, like, knowing your worth, because if you know your worth, you won't even, like, stick around to find out. Like, if you just, like, you're like, wow, this is suspicious, this is crazy, like, whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm out of here. For some girls, it's just like, well, this is probably, like, the best I'll get.
True.
And it's like, no,
I think
it's not.
Some people want to give the other person the benefit of the doubt too. Like, you know, I don't know. We're so good at gaslighting our own selves.
Yeah. And they don't even got to do it for you, but they will.
Yeah. I mean, and he did. Oh my gosh. I just, like, that is the epitome of gaslighting, I think. Like, if you look up the word gaslighter in a dictionary.
It's also crazy to me how, like, influencers and celebrities can, like, cheat on each other and it doesn't come out sooner.
I know.
How come all these girls don't see them posting together and, like, expose, like, I don't.
Right.
It's like, I understand that girls, a lot of times, they don't care. Like, there's a lot of girls that don't care to be, like, the side girl.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to go tell them the main girlfriend because they're just in it for fun, whatever. So they don't really care. But I think that's so wrong. Like, it's so wrong. Girls should always come forth and tell other girls. Like, guys should come forth and tell other guys, like, whatever. What would be so wrong with that? Like, but I know the world is a messed up place, so that won't be happening.
I think that all of this can also be lessons to take into just regular friendships also, and not just romantic relationships, because people will lie just to be your friend too,
Yeah.
which is so crazy.
Especially people who have like a victim mentality.
Yeah.
They like, if someone is a victim in every situation, they're lying.
Yeah.
And that's,
I know people who like genuinely are like victims. Like they have had a horrible hand dealt to them.
yeah.
Like thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. I'm talking about Tessa.
I know.
And she'll tell you that too. But she still is able to stay positive. She's a problem solver, and like nothing gets her down for a long time. Like
She doesn't even like talk about that stuff at all.
no.
It's just like, oh, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Not like, huh, poor me.
Yes. She just keeps going. Like some days are definitely harder than others.
Mm-hmm.
But like she wants to live a life full of joy and happiness and fun, and she wants to give her child the best life that she can.
Mm-hmm.
And so she prioritizes things that are good and beautiful, and I think that's so important
Mm-hmm.
because that shows that you can be a victim in some circumstances but not have a victim mentality.
Because we all are victims of something.
Yes.
There's just been a lot of things. We go through problems, we go through traumas, we go through so many different things in life. That's a part of life.
Yeah.
But if that's your mentality, and if you use that to your advantage to get people to like feel bad for you in every situation, and then to then turn them against everyone
Yeah.
around you, that's already a bad sign.
Yes, because that was the other thing that Clinton did is he isolated her and wouldn't let her leave, and he would say things like if she wanted to go home and like get fresh clothes and get a shower and whatever, be alone for a little bit, he'd be like, "You don't love me? You don't want to be around me anymore?" And so she would just stay.
Oh my god.
And that is so manipulative
Yeah.
and crazy. Like, so she didn't even have the opportunity to seek out advice from other people because he was basically holding her hostage.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of that too. If they're like isolating you from other friends or your family,
Mm-hmm.
that can be true in romantic and platonic relationships.
And sometimes it's because they both are playing the victim.
True.
And the people are both trying to save each other from made up stories.
Yes. Oh my gosh, say that again.
The people are trying to save themselves from made up stories.
Yes.
And it's just a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
You should not be isolated. You should not be isolated alone with somebody, like where you're not near their family, they're not near yours, you're not near their friends, they're not near yours, whatever. Like at all times.
Yeah.
Especially in an early relationship. It's not like you're married, like starting
Right.
your own life together. Why should y'all, like, I don't know. I think it doesn't matter how old you get either. It's okay if you want to do like a double date. It's okay if you want to like make sure you always have your friend with you at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
why did, as soon as you become an adult, it like you stop the buddy system and it's
Yeah.
just like you always go be alone with
Yeah.
people that you don't even know.
Yeah.
And then obviously you go into stupid land and like
and become
you're not thinking
delusional.
straight.
Yes.
And you don't
Because
have
you
that
like
person.
the attention,
Yeah.
and it's easier for a person to lie one-on-one than it is to a group.
Yeah.
Because then you have to keep your lies straight and remember, like, I don't know. And also, like, if multiple people hear the lie, there's more of a chance that somebody will be like, hey, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense.
Liars get real quiet in a group of people.
That's a word. And that is so wise to
Yeah.
say. Like, look out for those people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a quiet person,
Yeah,
but I'm quiet all the time.
exactly. But yeah, we've all fallen victim to falling for
A liar.
lies
Yeah.
and like falling for just getting into your stupid little brain and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I don't know. I feel like these are like some really good tips to look for, honestly. Like if you are dating and if you are with someone right now that you don't really know that well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's people who have been married they'll be married for 10 plus years and their spouse will find out something about them.
Yeah, it's devastating.
Yeah. And so it's like, it is scary. That's why it is very important who you marry.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let people rush you into marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very, like one of the biggest decisions, actually probably the biggest decision you'll make in life is who you marry. And people act like it's all about the wedding and engagement and then having kids and all this stuff, all the happy stuff, but it's a serious, serious thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think we take it seriously enough because people just think you should just get married as soon as you know someone's the one.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And it's like, so many people knew someone was the one and got married and they're on to their 5th, 6th husband now. So you can't go by what you think. Like, it's very important to like spend lots of time getting to know people, lots of time getting to know the people around them, paying attention to all of these things and having a sober mind. Like, the way the Bible describes it, it's not just like the sober we think about.
Right.
Sober mind is like just clear. Just have a clear head. Not let all the things that fill your head distract you from seeing the truth about a situation, a person, friendship, relationship, whatever it is. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of points we can take from this situation, which is why we wanted to talk about it, because it's just like, wow, a lot going on there.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, pay attention to those things.
Just pay attention.
Yeah,
I think is
the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust your closest people more than you trust your own self.
And ask God for discernment.
Mm-hmm.
Trust the Holy Spirit to speak to you.
Lean not on your own understanding.
That's right.
In all your ways, acknowledge Him.
Yeah, that means in relationships and friendships.
Yeah.
All your ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, what was your Monday miracle of the week?
That is a good question. Is the fact that my best friend from Canada, Lisa, is coming here with her family, and she'll be here in 3 days.
That's so exciting.
I know. I can't wait.
We're gonna have the best time.
Seriously. What was yours?
I think mine was last night when we went to go see fireworks and we ate cherries.
Yes.
And it was so fun. And we drove around the city with the top down and had a great time. And we listened to some fun songs. And I don't know, it was just so fun. It started to rain right when we were getting home.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything crazy, and 10 out of 10 would do it again.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
We were so close to the fireworks.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was so loud. I wish I brought earplugs.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See you next week.
Peace.